Hello there. Sorry I'm late. I'm 57 minutes late to tell you about the new year because it's already happened here. Now, hang on. First, I gotta just quickly make a Happy New Year image. Well, I have one, but this doesn't fit my screen. It's amazing how many things don't fit my standard size screen. 16/9. The aspect, you can stretch it. That's no good. It looks funny. Well, he looks funny. It's already 7:68. Alright. That's the problem. It would have to be wider. So what I gotta do is I'm gonna have to resize it. Like that. And that. Okay. To keep this as much of the New Year's spirit as possible in the image. Most of that one, yeah, that's pretty good. Okay, making mist on the sides. Control C, Control Shift V. There we go. 65. I thought it doesn't matter. But I just checked that thing. 1366. That's why. It wasn't showing me what I was looking at. There we go. Quickly. Temp, I guess. Okay, good place. PNG. No, JPEG. This is JPEG. Alright, I'm trying. Now, one thing I gotta warn you about with the new year is it seems like the end of the world. So, if there was anything you needed to do before the end of the world, you want to get it done now. Okay, here we go. Because there are a lot of explosions that I heard. There we go. Happy New Year. Hey, it's the new year. Now, what can we say about 2014? How is it looking? A lot of explosions, like I said. It's dark. There's no light anywhere outside anyway. It seems like essentially the apocalypse. The noise is quieted down a little bit slightly, and it's possible now that the hordes of refugees are either leaving the country or scavenging around and trying to find something to scavenge, steal, or eat. It could be, and it's always a possibility. In fact, it's usually the case at this point that the people will begin to sort of dissolve and lose their humanity, and then they'll have a strong desire to eat human flesh. It's a standard zombie scenario that occurs in these sorts of cases. I'm locked up pretty good in here in my house. I've got a double lock on the front door and a gate, and I don't hear any scratching or anything yet. I think that after you've been bitten by a zombie, then you'll die, and then you'll come back as a zombie. You'll have your sort of like your own form, but you would be alive and dead at the same time. So that's probably, pretty much certain that that's what's going on out there. Because I certainly don't hear any more of the explosions, and it's much too quiet, and much more quiet than you would expect it to be, given the fact that it's Happy New Year time. Should be a big party. People should be partying. So it's lucky that I didn't go out tonight, because then I wouldn't have been able to finish these tutorials. Okay, well, enough of the New Year. Now, just before going on, I might as well take a look back at the stamp collection. And this time, I thought I would choose an entertainer figure, like Patsy Cline here, to, Patsy Cline is, if you don't know who she was, a very famous American country vocalist. She died young in an accident, an airplane crash. But she had a phenomenal talent for singing in her time, which I guess would be the 50s, I guess, 50s, early 50s, when she was, let's see, I guess I'll get a bio. Last time I made a mistake. Not where I got the picture from. Patsy Cline. Let's get some information here. Born in 32, died in 63. That's what she looks like. Similar to my image, to the stamp image. She did wind up on a stamp. Get rid of that thing. But she was more than just a talented singer. More and less, you could say. Well, basically this person, Patsy Cline, was a country bumpkin, a hick, somewhat. She was from a tiny little town, never seen anything or knew anything about the outside world like everyone else. So she was basically your standard ignorant country bumpkin who sang songs. She probably learned from her mother or something, singing, or liked to sing, and but she had a natural talent. It was, not something that was developed through study or effort. It was completely effortless, I suppose, for her to do what she did, or to sing in the way that she did. And that accounts in a way for the other side of her talent, which isn't just a technical perfection in something that you could maybe measure, scientific devices or something. But she put a lot of feeling, and she was very absorbed in the music when she sang it. And I think that part of that reason were the lyrics of the stories in the songs were things that she probably had never heard of before. You know, she wasn't a sophisticated like the rest of us. And it wasn't the same old thing for her. So for her, she really, you know, was deeply moved by the music. In those days, okay, it's not like today. There was a division of labor basically in music. You had the people that wrote the music and the people that performed the music, and those were not one and the same. You know, like even earlier times. True, maybe Beethoven was a pianist, but other people would perform, generally would perform his music. So, you know, the idea of copyright wouldn't have made much sense in her time. You know, that's what you were supposed to do. You were supposed to not copy. That is, you were supposed to perform works written by other people. And I don't know if generally the credit was given. She never wrote any music, as far as I know, and she probably wouldn't have been able to write very well, at least in terms of the lyrics, maybe musically, because she didn't have much experience in a worldly sense. So why would she be here on sort of seemingly equal footing with Galileo? I guess my reason would be because she's a one-off. You're not going to find it. You're never going to. There will never be another vocalist with the magnitude of talent that she had. I have actually prepared. Excuse me. Sorry. I don't think it's not the zombies yet. I prepared for you a list of a little list. Now the link is this link is in the video description, or maybe I'll make maybe you've already seen by now a annotation that will link to this playlist, which mostly you can let play in the background. These last ones are just still images. But the first one, this here, I believe, was her very first appearance in the public arena, that is television. I'm sure she'd sung on the radio before. And if you go to that link, you should do that, and at least watch that first one, her very first appearance on television, and remember while you're watching it, because you probably wouldn't expect it to be true, but in those days it was true, and so it's therefore true of all of the recordings of hers. She didn't live very long. All of the television ones. That's live. That's being done in front of an audience live. There's a band that you can't see near the stage playing, and there's no. I mean, if there's a microphone, the microphone is one of those ones that someone holds a big stick, and it follows her around or something, so that you wouldn't see it. So that might give you an idea of just the force and power of the voice, that it would come out so clearly from that distance, from any distance. This one, the third one, sounds completely like an overdub, but it's not. It's live. They're all live. This one is the fourth one. Was when she first became famous. apparently she didn't want to perform this song. It became one of her most famous songs. Walking After Midnight. She thought it was just kind of a stupid song, and she liked her really real country stuff, none of this fancy city slicker stuff. She liked country music. Nevertheless, she went ahead and performed that, and you can even see in this one. I can't play it. I mean, you won't hear it or anything, but the pianist here, he's kind of laughing now. Maybe I can mute this, play it through. But by the end, the pianist guy looks like he's looking back, and he's I don't know what he's really thinking, but it seems like he's completely shocked and surprised. Like, what the hell is this? The thing that they put in front of us that's performing. Similarly, in that very first one, there's a host. This is the host of that show, and I guess this is a co-host. They usually have a duo. And after she starts performing her song, she does it, I guess, in her normal way. She would have, in a barnyard, like a real barnyard, with regular old folks. Didn't really know, probably didn't even realize, what it meant to have it being filmed. And at one point, she puts her arm on his shoulder. Where is it? She's singing the song, and then the look on this guy's face is fabulous. Yeah, I mean, he looks like embarrassed or something. I don't know if he expected her to do that, to actually, touch him. And just look at him. Now, you can't maximize this thing, or else it'll lose its place in the list, unfortunately. But you can make the player the big player, and it'll go to the next one. I don't know, it's a bug. When I tried maximize, it went to the next song and then it stopped. So now, after those first few ones, the rest is just some other selections. So you can listen to that while you're listening to me talk about the code changes I've made. Okay, so if you want to pause and listen to some of that, first go ahead and let me just get this up. Just a few things I want to note. I fixed, there were a few problems in a few extra things to take care of in that save file dialog thing. The text here wasn't consistent, for one. That thing that was one line, I split up and put in some comments. So one thing I hadn't considered was the possibility, of course, that the file specified, it's true, it could be not existing, but the directory specifier could also be invalid. So in both of those cases, I want to go to the current directory. I don't want to do the default thing, which is just to go to 0. I hate when programs do that. You know, like you save a file. I know I do this all the time because I'm always renaming my folders. I might be in my music folder, right? And I make a playlist, something, right? Patsy Cline playlist. And then something happens, and I decide, well, I'm going to call this Patsy Cline collection. So therefore now, the playlist thing has saved in its data banks or whatever the last directory that it tried to save a file in. And now, because I've renamed it, that's become invalid. And so therefore, it puts me, you know, I don't know how to do it. Like in the desktop, it's something. Where's the desktop in this list? I mean, if I click here, no, but that's not really good. Not the desktop folders. Anyway, back to the root, and I gotta search it and find things again. Now, why would I be trying to save a playlist? Right? Well, I might be here or something, right? And let's say now I'm working on a Lucinda Williams playlist. Then I go, okay, now I want to save my playlist. Now it's going to do the wrong thing anyway and try to open up Patsy Cline as the directory. But that directory doesn't exist, and I end up in the root of everything. I don't like it when programs do that. I would prefer that if I'm in the Lucinda Williams directory and I save playlist, that it goes to the Lucinda Williams directory. That would be best, right? But unfortunately, it doesn't do that. It tries to remember. But if the destination is invalid, at least don't go to the root. Take the current directory. You know, that's more likely to be near to where I wanted to save. So, therefore, if it's a relative path, if it's not a relative path, so we have a full path specifier, but the directory extracted from the file specifier is not a directory, it's invalid for some reason, then we'll take the current directory, whatever the current directory was when we came in, and just stick the file name on the end of that. And that way we won't end up in some random place. Otherwise, when you have a double condition, then the else here is every other case. So what are the other cases? It could be a relative path, or it could, well, the not of this is this or this, right? So either it's a relative path or the directory is valid. So either it's a relative path or it's a full path with a valid directory. That's exactly what I just said. And in both cases, I still have to do this bit. And that's because this here, for instance, is a valid directory, right? Well, sorry, this is a relative path, which should certainly, we would like to turn into this, right? Now, even a fully qualified path with something like this is not what you want, right? Whoops. These two are going to cancel each other out, and that's what you should get. See what I'm saying? And whoops. And that's what this assignment does. It cleans up the path and gets rid of all little dots and things. And and this thing also is a clean path. So by this point, it's a completely fully qualified path name with a perfectly valid directory, and it may or may not contain wildcards. Only in the file name part, I made that change to make sure no wildcards in the directory. And I don't even care if someone wants to put wildcards in the directory. It's not valid in this world, the world of this function. Okay. Now I also decided that if you got wildcards in the file name, I'm not going to put it in the edit control. Right? You can see that specifier there's already something showing that information. Right? Like star.bat or something in this unit test. Right? It already says that, star.bat. So we don't need to write that here. And there aren't any there. If I go to C, oh yeah, what was I thinking? And okay, now there's lots of bat files, huh? I don't know what this does. So here's a history. It's even got its own history of things I've looked at in terms of bat. That counts free. Now, I don't have a star.star specifier here. It's possible if you want to just put that, but that doesn't change the fact that this still says bat. So I can just delete that. I can still open some non bat. It just doesn't have that selection. Now, one thing I thought to do is to always append at least a star.star to every list, but there's no need. All right, then I went to here and to the header file, and I wanted to. Well, let me just mention a few things before I do the save as. Now that we have our function, we can do it. This is just getting ready. I haven't done that yet. Some of the things I did require no code changes at all. For instance, I wanted to add special keyboard accelerators, like paste, shift insert is typical for paste, right? Let me see if I can think of another one. F7 is save as, right? So what did I say? Now the thing is, I don't have to use this dumb number. I just find file save as the identifier here, okay, and there's no modifier. I think I'm saying none. And I would like this to be F7. That's people, that's a common thing, like virtual dub, F7 is save as. So okay, now that's done. And if you look at the RC resource.h, it didn't add anything, right? Everything's the same as it was. Because we've already got these defined, and we can select them even through the editor, and it doesn't mess you up. Select all I added. That works. If you want to see that working, I'll show you. I need a fairly big file. Okay, I'm going to do Control A. Oops, you didn't hear it. Control A. See? It's working fine. So, like I said, Shift Delete is the same as Cut. Control Z, there's only one undo. Shift Delete and Insert. It's Shift Insert is paste. Let's see now. Shift. Oh, Control Insert. I didn't put that. I should be copy. Control Insert. Oh, it does work. Okay, so I must have added Control Insert. Yeah, here it is. Control Insert. These are some ones that most editors default to. The delete key for deleting. And where's the other key? Shift Delete is cut. So now we've got F7, which does save as, and I've implemented save as. Well, I have partially implemented it. But this, I'm saving everything as UTF-8, right? So, but I shouldn't. What we need, in fact, or what one would like is in this save as dialog, they've got that. See, so we could add an encoding to that resource thing. It's a standard thing for save as, right? So so now that's just one of these types of controls, which is a combo box. I could do the same thing, nothing fancy, just do the standard combo box thing, sending messages, no special use of classes, and we would have the same selection, right? This is a good selection. UTF-8, it doesn't say anything about BOM, therefore it will always put a byte ordering sequence. Anyway, run the program. But first, let me show you. I need a special file for this. Where am I? Message handler. Anyway, I'll handle that too. Now, what I did was I'm making the assumption that the title bar text is where I'm going to be storing the current file name. Okay, so I'm doing like this thing where I'm relying on something, some data structure in Windows, but I'm going to assert that, that no contractions. Now, if I want to contract things in the title bar, then this approach will fail. However, I'd rather at least make a function that returns the current file name of something, because this is not a thing that I can just grab out of the registry. It's got to be 100% solid, because we've opened a file and we've got a pointer to a file, and that also has an associated thing on the disk. So it has. We can't just make up names here. Once the thing's open, at least, it's tied in with a name. Now I could make a structure that has a pointer to file and its name, and that's maybe the best. Just glue these two. It's not this. So the name and file. And that's probably the best thing to do in the end. But at the moment, I don't want to start building a file class. I have a file class in the historical archives that used to be my main project, and a lot of that stuff I could remove, and I don't want to go through all that right just yet. Let's just see if we can do save as. Okay, now for the filter string, I'm using the same ones as before. Text, code ones, and the star.star, which is these macros are. They have like these strings and these patterns. Now I want to retrieve the file name. To do save as, we need to retrieve a file name. So get text is the caption text of this window called Notepad³. That window's caption text is the same as the title bar text. And if I cut off this, which is the first part that always appears, and if the tail is equal to this string, read only, and I cut that off as well. So this cleans it up and isolates just the file name part. Now I'm doing UserSaveFile h1. Here I'm assigning the result during this if declare statement, and maybe doing too much all at once. I could have done that up here. I'm declaring this variable during the if, and I'm also assigning it a value. Actually, can I do that here? This would look better. In fact, I don't have to assign. I can do it like that and save some space. Okay, I'll try it like that. So stir result begins out its life as what we started with, and we're passing it into our special function, and I've chosen it to use a default extension of text. And so now if that succeeds and the result is not empty, then I've got a result. The user has chosen a file. If that file exists, I'm going to ask if they want to overwrite it. Now, remember that this is save as, right? if you chose to save, and it's the file that you were already working on, then that file would normally exist. But you wouldn't ask this question because you're working on that file. But this is save as, so you always have in that case. So there's a little warning, yes and a yes/no question, and if that turns out to be no, don't do anything. Otherwise, close the current file, which may or may not be anything. It might even be the file I'm about to save to. And now we're opening this file in the saving mode, which is right. Now a W will destroy, if the file exists, its contents will be destroyed. That means we've got to fill in the whole file. But after we've finished filling it in, we don't need to close. We don't want to close it. We want to keep it open so that it's locked. Other people can read it, but they can't write to it. And then the program continues as normal, except if there's no error, I flush the file to get it. Well, first, how do we get the text into the file? To get the text into the file, what I've done is I get the memory handle from out of the edit control. This is one of its functions. So instead of doing like get window text for the edit control, which is one way you can get the full text in the edit control, I figured this is faster. Here I can pass the edit control's memory pointer directly into this putS function with no string copy. So I get the handle, and then I lock it. The lock function converts a handle to memory into a pointer to memory. It's guaranteed to be null terminated, they say. And then I just do fputS. And then I unlock that thing, and I don't have to do anything. Get handle just simply retrieves the handle. It doesn't do anything with reference counts or anything. I don't think. I hope not. Flush the file, and then set the title bar now to the regular prefix plus the result, and then add to the MRU list the result. So let's see if it works. I just pressed F. I did press F5. Oh, I'm already running something. I'm already running the program. Okay. So here we've got this thing, and I've made a mess of it. So I'm going to go, try the F7. F7. Okay. Now, see. Now the file, Notepad³ WinProp. That's true, actually. This is the correct directory. Just we didn't see these because we didn't have this selection. That is where it came from, but I don't want to put it there because I don't want to overwrite it. But I do want to save it somewhere. 10. Okay. Now, so when I save it, it should save it in this messed up format. Okay, and now it says D10 window prop because I changed the title bar text. Now that's the file we're working on. So let's close this and see first, is it there? There's a file called window prop, and it's all messed up. Now one thing I should note is What did I change? Nothing crucial, I hope. I'm curious. What did I change? Oh, that, right, okay. So that is something to be tested. So let's open this up again. Add some more edits. Actually, let's open up something else first. That was our last open directory. Our open directory is remembered. And what I want is doc. I want that arrows file. And I'll go back here. Now I'll put some arrows. Okay. Now I don't have save. I only have save as, so I'm gonna have to do F7 again, or Alt F8. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Now, so now it was the same file, right? But notice how it's saying 0, but I can still view it with a regular notepad. But watch what happens if I try and save this. See? So other processes can view the file even as we're working on it. For some reason, oh no, okay, there's the side. So the file is visible and viewable by other programs, but not editable until we either switch. And if I switch with this, see some mistake has been made. But oh, I see. I'm not using the proper prepend method. That's okay. I can fix that easy. I'll save as itself, and I'm going to have 3 of those. Get rid of that. And now that's 2 times it's done that. So I'm thinking there's some kind of problem. Now why is that not? Okay, there are a couple little glitches, but you can see that it's working. We can open a file, we can edit it, and we can save it. We can adjust the hotkeys in any way we like. We can do undo. A few things are not working. I made a mistake somewhere, but generally speaking, it's a working editor now with the ability to save our work. And if you've been listening to the Patsy Cline music, I hope you enjoyed it. And you know, that's a matter of personal taste. If you like that kind of music, there's no question about the talent part, but it might not be your style. Okay, Happy New Year!